Purchase your dream 3-bedroom home today at Mamuda for less than $3 million, only from Redland Capital. Welcome to a Gainako News Report. I'm your reporter, Yusuf Taylor. On June 4th, 2020, the Media Council the Gambia, MCG, launched its first media press briefing calling for media practitioners to adhere to the Code of Conduct. The independent body, established by the Gambia Press Union in December 2018, has taken almost 2 years to set up and have already received 2 complaints, which they say are at an advanced stage in their adjudicating process. Former Minister of Information Nana Gray-Johnson, the chairperson of the MCG, told media practitioners present to come prepared to work.
I emphasize it to my students at the school, and I will do it here. An old teacher is an old teacher. Do your homework so you know what questions to ask.
We asked him what took the self-regulatory body so long to get started.
The machine works, but exceedingly slowly, but exceedingly surely. That is where you take off with this issue. We had to headhunt. We had to meet regulations to advertise. We had to wait for people to apply. We had to have people say yes, they were willing to serve. We had to hear from the organizations that we had written, that the GPU had written to ask them to send representatives. And if you look at the bureaucracy of all of that, it took some time. It took the 2 years that you're talking about. And really, that's all there is to it. And then you have to talk with funders who will fund programs to get us off the ground.
Executive Secretary Mr. Junkung Jobate explained to media practitioners present that the Gambia Press Union Code of Conduct for media practitioners will be the rules of the game when adjudicating on complaints.
The Code of Conduct for media practitioners, which was there before the Media Council, and it's still there, because it was established by the Gambia Press Union, would be the law for the ethics panel. When there is a breach of that code, it will kick an investigation or hearing into the violations. That's what we call a breach of the code.
He explained some of the penalties which would be applied when media practitioners breach the Code of Conduct.
For instance, withdraw the press card of the journalist, to deny the journalist from covering certain activities. We can do that. But that would be the highest punishment the Media Council will levy. Yes. But also, it's not all about punishing the journalist and the media entity, but also working with the media entity to put in place certain things to avert future occurrences.
Veteran media practitioner Madam Amijouf Cole shared a word of advice for the media fraternity to take ownership of their code of conduct, to give media self-regulation a chance.
That I think as media practitioners, the code of conduct of the GPU is ours. We are members of the GPU. And that code of conduct was not developed without some of us participating in the process. So it belongs to us. So we have to take ownership. We have to know the provisions that are in the code of conduct.
Recalling the statements of Information Minister Silla at the launch of the MCG that government will always retain the role of regulation, I questioned Chairperson Gray-Johnson on the government's willingness to allow the MCG to implement media self-regulation.
But you forget that government is in the board. The minister you mentioned has a representative in the board. Yeah. And that's the first step to taking the message forward. So I think that should allay your fears. Government is already among us. It's not because, you see, it's not us versus them. Government is in there, and as a matter of fact, the government representative happens to be our Vice-Chairperson. Okay. So you can imagine. Discussion is obviously on. As I've started that if government will have a representative, if the ministry is represented in the board, it means decisions taken by the board is already endorsed by their representative within government. And that member goes back to government and will advise government based on the arguments that have come out of a particular situation. So it's the parallel issue. If you notch the parallel issue, then there seems to be a conflict, when in fact there isn't any. Now, when government is particularly interested in the case, then our ethics panel will interpret that interest and tell us, advise the board how that clashes with ethical standards, and then we decide on the way forward.
Okay.
So it is step by step.
We end this report with some words of advice to media practitioners from Madam Ami Juve Cole.
Inasmuch as we will ensure that the rights of journalists are never violated in this country, that people are not arrested, as the Ghanaians would say, by heart, because somebody just wants to shut down your radio station. But I want to appeal to all of us to be responsible, to go by the provisions that are in the code of conduct.
Purchase your dream 3-bedroom home today at Mamuda for less than $3 million only from Redland Capital.